Good morning, children. Let's start the second topic of your chapter number 3, and that is statutory corporation. Student, before we go through with statutory corporation, I just want to give you a quick review that what we have discussed in our first video of this chapter. So, student, in this chapter, I have told you or explained you that we are going to read about Indian economy. Now, when we talk about Indian economy, the students, we have divided Indian economy into two parts, the public sector and private sector. It means our India economy is working into two sectors way. The public sector, which is controlled by government some way or completely some way, and the private sector where individual or in a partnership the people used to work. Now, these public sector and private sector are the two part of Indian economy. Private sectors, we again have different way of conducting or doing a business, which we call form of business organization inside private sector, which we have already read in chapter number 2, that was sole proprietorship, partnership, joint Hindu family business, cooperative, joint stock company. So these all are what? These all are the way by which private sectors can go through with their business. Now, in this chapter number 3, we will be discussing about the public sector's different form of business organization. Now, inside the public sector can work into three ways. The first was departmental undertaking, which we have already read. The second is statutory corporation, which we will discuss today, and third will be your government company. Now, in the first one, that was your departmental undertaking, I have explained you that these all enterprises are set up as a department of the ministry. Means they are set up by ministry department and they are considered as an extension of ministry itself only. Their functions, their appointment, their activity, their performance, everything is an integral part of government. The government has full control over these organizations, right? And today we will be starting about the statutory corporation. Now, again you have to be very clear here that even the departmental undertaking also and statutory corporation also, they are the part of a public enterprises only. Only the difference is there in departmental undertaking, these are set up by the government ministry or ministry of government, controlled fully by the government, either state or the central government. But statutory corporation is little bit different from departmental undertaking. Now see how they are different from the departmental departmental undertaking. Now children, let's start. Now, when we talk about statutory corporation are public enterprises brought into existence by a special act of the parliament. Now, this is where you have to be very clear that when we talk about statutory corporation, they are set up or they are established by a special act which should be passed into a parliament or a state legislative assembly. It means in this particular state where these type of organization will work, statutory corporation of organization will work, they should have passed a particular act into the parliament of that particular state legislative. Now the objectives, powers, functions, all these things has been clearly defined inside that special act which is passed inside the parliament, right? So the act define the power also, the act define the functions also, rules, regulations governing its employee and its relationship with the government department. It means the act which has been passed in the parliament will define about the whole statutory corporation type of business, that what will be the power, for how the functions will be done here, what will be the objective of this, and what will be the relationship of statutory corporation with the government department. Everything will be written or defined into the act by which the statutory corporation will be set up. Now we can have the example of statutory corporation here also, that is Unit Trust of India and Life Insurance Corporation. These two organizations are the example of statutory corporation, because both of the organization has been set up by passing a special act into the parliament or state legislative. How the LIC's organization work, all thing, each and everything, how their functions did, what are the powers of the employees, what are the powers of the board of director, what are the objective of LIC, everything is defined into a special act which has been passed in the parliament. That is the reason Unit Trust of India, that is UTI, and LIC, these are the two examples of statutory corporation. So you have to remember one thing, that statutory corporation is a public enterprise. This is first thing. These are public enterprises, but these are came into existence by the help of a special act, or this act is passed into the parliament or the state legislative assembly. Now this act will define all the functions, power, rules, regulation governing its employee also, and even what will be the relationship of statutory corporation organization with the government, that everything will be mentioned inside this act only, right? So let's start with the features of statutory corporation. Now as you can see, the first feature of statutory corporation, it is established under a special act which defines its objective, power and function. This is the first function which say the statutory corporation is set up by an act of parliament, and it is governed by the provision of this act only. Now this act only define the objective of statutory corporation business. This act only define the power and privileges of the statutory corporation. It means the whole statutory corporation is going to run according to the act which is passed in the parliament. Now the next feature said that it has a separate legal identity, or it has a separate legal entity. Now this we have learned earlier also. What do you mean by separate legal entity? Separate legal entity feature basically say that because this is a corporate body, the statutory corporation is a corporate body, right? And it's created by legislature. Which legislature? Either Parliament Act or by state legislative. So these are the legislature. Now because it is created by the legislature, and this legislature define the power and function, or the how the financially independent with a clear control over a specified area. It is basically a corporate person. We can say it's a artificial person. Now artificial person, why? Because the liability of its member or a board of director will be different from the corporation itself. In the eye of law, where the act has been passed in the parliament, the people, those who are running statutory corporations, have a separate legal and identity, and the corporation have a separate legal identity. That is the reason we call that both are separate, both are not dependent on each other. Now next feature say that the management is board of director appointed or nominated by government. Now when we talk about statutory corporation, still it's a role of state legislative, or because this is completely running by a act of parliament, so state government play an important role over there. So the people, those who are appointed there, the board of director, or those who are nominated for board of director, government play an important role for appointing these people. Now next is it has its own staff recruited and appointed as per the provision of act. It means inside statutory corporation, the people, those who will be appointed, they will be appointed according to the provision or according to the rules and regulation whichever has been mentioned in the act. Next feature say this type of enterprise is usually independent finance. It obtains fund from government, or it borrow fund from government or public, or through earning. It means from where the funding has been done into the statutory corporation, the funding has been either borrowed from the state government, or either it is borrowed directly from the public, or the fund which is earned after starting the statutory corporation, that earning can be again used as a form of investment to expand the business. Now next features say that it is not subject to same accounting audit rule which are applicable to the government department. As we have read in the first form, that was departmental undertaking, where they have to shown they have to shown their data to the public. They have to go through with a proper auditing process according to the accounting details of their organization. But just opposite of that, in case of statutory corporation, it's not a subject that they don't have to it's not necessary for them that they have to show their accounting and auditing rules to the government department. Now the next will be the advantage of statutory corporation. So the first advantage of statutory corporation will be that it's a internal autonomy. Internal autonomy basically say that it enjoy a good deal of autonomy in its day-to-day operation and it's free from political interference. Means like if we compare it with the departmental undertaking which was completely controlled by government, the day-to-day work is also even controlled by the government. The instruction has been given from the government side or ministry only. According to that, the function of day-to-day has been conducted. But just opposite of that, if we talk about statutory corporation, this is internal autonomy. Means the internal people, those who are working, those who are managing the corporation, they can deal according to their own way. The government or the political party does not interfere into their day-to-day operations. Next is quick decision. Now it's linking with the internal autonomy. If the interference of the outside people will be less, the decision can be taken quickly. So that's what written here. It can promote decision and quick action as it is free from the proprietary rules of government, because government is not interfering into the day-to-day activity of the statutory corporation. That's why the managing body can take decision quickly. Next is parliamentary control. Their performance subject to discussion in parliament which ensure proper use of public money. It means because the money has been used here either from the government side or from the public side or from the earning. So this statutory corporation has been passed or came into existence because of the Parliament Act. So whatever performance has been done from statutory corporation, that is always discussed in the parliament, and just because of this discussion in the parliament, so the money which has been used here, it is properly used or proper investment has been done, public money has been not wasted. The statutory corporation keep that in mind. Next is efficient management. The directors and top executive are professional and experts of different field. The people those who have been appointed directors here and the people those who have been appointed professional experts here, they all are expert in that particular field. So that's why they used to manage the thing of statutory corporation in a proper way, because we don't have any shortage of fund here. Next is demerit of statutory corporation. Now we have said in the advantage that statutory corporation have an advantage of independent operations. It means the government or the political party does not interfere. But still, because statutory corporation has started after passing an act in the parliament, so sometime the political party interference is there in reality. So it create not a much operational flexibility. It means sometime the political party used to interfere in the statutory corporation and the operations does not have that much flexibility which should be there. Next is they usually enjoy monopoly in their field and do not have profit motive, due to which their working turn out to be inefficient. Now this is a big drawback of statutory corporation, which say that when we talk about statutory corporation, it's basically having an autonomy system over there. Autonomy system basically say that there is one organization or the state organization which is running by the government also, without not having much interference, and with a parliament act which is guiding the statutory corporations. It create a monopoly in the market, and just because the monopoly has been created in the market, they used to avoid profit motive, and because of which the losses has to be suffered from the public side and the government side. Next is where there is dealing with public, rampant corruption exists. Thus public corporation is suitable for undertaking requiring monopoly powers, public utilities. It means sometime in the statutory corporations, because they are the political party which are involved in the parliament, they are involved in the corruption also, and because of this there are certain deal which occurred with the public, the corruption can be existed there. Now where the statutory corporation are suitable, where we can go through with the statutory corporation form of business. Now it is basically suitable for organizing public enterprise when the enterprise required special power under the act. So whenever there is any organization which is working inside the public enterprises and required a special power by the help of a parliament act, they have to go through with statutory corporations, because statutory corporation is started by the help of passing an act on the parliament. Now the next is the enterprise require a huge amount of capital investment. Whenever any public enterprise which required a huge amount of capital, they can go through with statutory corporation, because in statutory corporation we have three way of achieving the fund. The first by government, the second by public, and third by our own earning, that is dividend. So this is all about statutory corporation, children, the second form of public enterprises. Now third form of public enterprises will be government company, which we will read in the next video. Now today you just only have to keep one thing in your mind, that public enterprises can conduct their business into three manner. The first will be your departmental undertaking, the second will be your statutory corporation, and third will be your government company. The first, departmental undertaking, I have explained you. These are set up and run or established by a ministry department. Like they have a complete control by the government. Government used to see the function. Government used to make the rules and regulation for the departmental undertaking. And the employee, those who work under the departmental undertaking, are called government employee. They got all the facility of government employee. The next was statutory corporation, which came into existence after passing an act into the parliament or state legislative. The act which is passed in the parliament contain all the rules, regulations, objective functions, and the bonding of statutory corporation with outside government departments, and it bound the whole statutory corporations, right? So it means it is basically suitable for all those organizations which want a huge amount, because there are three ways by which we are able to invest money into the statutory corporation. The statutory corporation got money from state government also, they got money from public also, and even they got the money or funding from their earning or dividend form also. So in the next one we will read about government company. Thank you.